According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, secondhand smoke contains more than 7,000 chemicals. Could you imagine being surrounded by thousands of chemicals that could potentially cause major health damage to you and your loved ones? Believe it or not, you come in contact with secondhand smoke almost every single day, and you probably don't even realize it. With that being said, smoking in public places should be banned due to the harm it causes to people and the environment. Things such as innocent children, sickly people, and the earth are experiencing significant consequences due to the amount of toxins and chemicals being released into the air by public smoking. I'm sure many of you are thinking right now that it isn't as big of an issue as it seems to be. Well, let's examine this in a bit more detail than usual. Innocent children who have no control over what they are exposed to are being brought around thousands of toxins at such a young age. Because of this, these children are at a higher risk of contracting SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. Also, health problems such as asthma and hearing loss can be adopted from such chemical strain on an infant who has a new and weak immune system. They are equally at risk of developing heart and lung disease that could eventually result in a death at a very young age. The Bruton Standard newspaper article proposed a bill that makes it illegal to smoke in a car with pregnant women because these illnesses can begin as early as in the womb. Also, there's a possibility that children can become addicted to the nicotine that they are exposed to. This will more than likely result in them smoking when they get older. We should want to keep our infants brand new and squeaky clean and out of harm's way, but we can't exactly do that if everywhere that they are taken publicly, there are risks of them inhaling secondhand smoke. Although children are indeed our biggest concern for the situation, there are also thousands of sick adults who are harmed by secondhand smoke as well. As many of you may know, there are millions of people who are living with heart and lung disease, but they are trying their best to stay in the best shape that they can possibly obtain. Even though it is very possible to live with such a sickness, the inhalation of secondhand smoke causes approximately 7,330 deaths a year for people who suffer from lung cancer. That is 7,330 moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandmas, and grandpas. The toxins from secondhand smoke are so strong that it does not have to be reoccurring exposure to cause a reaction. Relatively brief exposure can trigger a heart attack. For example, it only takes one day in a public park that allows smoking to trigger a heart attack that could possibly end someone's life. This means that you have a greater risk of death by being outside rather than driving a car, riding a roller coaster, or even jumping out of an airplane. This just does not seem to make a lot of sense, does it? Lastly, chemical pollution is an ongoing conversation in the world today. The main topic of this conversation has to do with mostly cars and factories and other types of manufacturers that release smoke or smog into the atmosphere. What many people don't know is that smoking is far more polluting than exhaust. An article presented in Medical News Today states that environmental tobacco smoke produces fine particulate matter, which is the most dangerous element of air pollution for health. What makes this even worse is that people are very ignorant when it comes to this. Research published by the journal Tobacco Control brought to the surface that even health personnel are often unaware of such risk. When taking this into consideration, it is smart to assume that if those who are supposed to be in control of this is not aware of the most toxic chemical being in tobacco products, then how exactly are mayors and officials of towns and cities supposed to know that it is imperative to ban public smoking? In conclusion, it is important to factor in every possible effect of secondhand smoking when allowing it in public areas. Due to the amount of deaths it has caused and harm it has done to our planet, smoking in public places should be banned all across the world. By banning it, we can save the lives of thousands of people and also spare many more the pain and heartache of a lost loved one. We receive no benefit at all from tobacco products, and it only causes harm, not just to our people, but our planet as well. Though it is also impossible to control everyone's actions, we can always control our own. With that being said, Always be aware of what you are releasing into the air, but more importantly, be aware of your surroundings.